Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Srimadhananda Tirtha Padam Bhavat Padacharyobhyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Stititolaya Niyadi Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Madiprabodhan Vadan Rasya Kritavan Bhuvidatva Vadam Sarveswaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Anandatirthamunivayam Namami पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Welcome, friends. Wish you all a very, very wonderful Hanuman Jayanti today. Today is an auspicious day. Today Lord Hanuman was supposed to have taken birth, because as per the Shastras, there are two birthdays. One is coming now and another one is later, later part of the year also. But, this is also being celebrated as the Hanuman Jayanti all over, particularly in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and the part of Tamil Nadu and elsewhere as well. And we will all pray to the mighty Hanuman, who has been the sort of one who is taking care of this world, because under the guidance and the orders of the Parabrahman, naturally we will have to have his blessings. Manojjavam Marutudulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimadam Varishtam Vadatpajam Vanarayuda Mukyam Sriramadutam Sarasanamami. With his blessings, we will commence our Kathopanishad proceedings, as we have continued from the last week, as we have been into the sixth valley, which is the third valley of the second part of the Kathopanishad, where we have seen up to the mantra number 5, because the verses we have seen the 5. This valley has finally brought about the glorious vision of the world, and what is that? We will have to have ultimate, the takeaway from Kathopanishad that has been brought about, in this particular the Valli, and this is the last chapter of this Kathopanishad. As we have seen in brief, because the Yama has explaining to Nachiketa, through Nachiketa to all of us, to the entire humanity, entire world. He is trying to explain, look, because what that, with the roots above and branches spreading below, is the branches spelling, the impermanent things that is coming about, because finally we are getting all the powers, universal power, because the entire power that is coming to us, the soul is getting the power. Without the soul, the body is nothing. And the soul has to come. The soul has got the ordained to get the power, what it what it deserves, and what it has been determined by its own actions, erstwhile births, in earlier births, and what he has to assimilate, enjoy, and what he has to evolve in this birth, that has been brought about. So that's what we have seen the first month verse we said, with the roots above and the branches below. Because the root is the one, because from where it is an inverted tree. The tree has the roots, from there, because it is on the ground, the fertile ground. The ground, without ground, the tree can't stand. And then, because the roots gives the energy to the tree, and from there, because it flourishes, into the bark as well as the branches, and then flowers and fruits, and the entire thing comes up. So likewise, because we get the entire energy from the fertile ground, because the Parabrahman is the ground in which we are all the seeds of karma has brought on about, and it has given rise to this name and form, in which we have come into this body. So naturally, the energy that we are getting it is through the roots, because it is the Mula Prakriti, because the Mula Prakriti was given all the 5 elements and all the minerals and metals, which has been under the auspices of the, with the Parabrahman, it has been given to us, and which we have been enjoying, through which, we are able to get the knowledge as well as the evolve in this. Because without the name and form, we don't have any means to evolve. We don't have the means to get the knowledge. But then, we should not consider the name and form is the final, because the senses and the body and the all the, because we have got, the 20, we have got the all the in the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, the senses and sensibilities are not the be all and end all. They are the means by which we can see ourselves, the invisible ourselves. The invisible ourselves are the one which we call transcend, the realization of ourselves, and through our realization of the ourselves, that is the Swarupa Jnana, finally the realization of the power, the ultimate, the God. So that is what, it is step by step, it is taking us into them. Nachiketa having brought us to the level of, because the entire sadhana and the entire given us, because what are all the the lives, because how we have to manage the life, how we have to get through the life, we have given us a lot of similes and all. Having done that in the last chapter, he is enabling us and he has given us the wherewithal to have a glorious vision of the life and live gloriously in this world. So when we are going to live in this only he has brought about, because like, finally you are getting the power. We may be having so many instruments in the house, TV, you may have a fridge, and we may have the grinder, so many things, a mixer, everything will be there, and you got the micro oven. But all these things, they work because they have all been made. Finally, they need one thing, that is the power. The power has to come, the electricity and electrical energy has to come into that to activate that. Likewise, we are all different names and forms, depending upon our quality and capability by which, we have our own actions have determined, this name and form for which we have come. Finally, that is the power, which activates us to realize that. In fact, you are not the doer, you are getting it done, based on your capability. A fan can't do what a light can do. A fridge can't do what a microwave can do, because they have got assigned purposes. That same thing has been brought about into a simile, and they have explained so beautifully, into this Kathopanishad verses, how we have to understand the final power, because we are going by, when we are trying to emulate someone, he is emulating, because based on his own sort of a power that he determines and deserves to be in this world. But we may be having a different, because a fan can't try to emulate a refrigerator. A refrigerator can't try to emulate a oven, because but all of them function with the same electrical energy. When they are functioning with the same electrical energy, but they have got the different qualities and capabilities that has been endowed into them by with the manufacturer. Like we have all been manufactured and sent here with expiry date here. But when we have been sent here, we have got, because our capability has already been determined. But he has enabled us to determine in the seed form, because it's all our own actions. Not that, he has been, he has not been, because he has been equal to everyone. The divine law of equality is there. He gives the same fertilizer, he gives the same water, same energy, same source, everything. But each one flourishes based on what they have accumulated to be deserving in this world. And having taken in the name and the form, when we say we have to transcend this body and all, doesn't mean, you will be neglecting the body. You will have to take care of the body. And through this body and through these senses only, you will be able to accumulate the knowledge, and then you will be able to evolve further. So therefore, this body is as much as important, the experience is as much as important, to live in this world is as much as important. It's not that nothing is going to be given up. We are not going to be procrastinating. We are going to be having an action plan. We will have a blueprint for life. When we are following the blueprint for life, but whether we are, because able to go by the set paths, in which we will be able to evolve, which has been given to us. Every moment, we have been helped us, but are we able to take the help, or are we get distracted, because of the senses that has got the power to take you, win you away from your path. So that has been brought about so beautifully, and that has been, it is what Nachiketa was being told by the Yama through Nachiketa to all of us. Look, because Paranchikani Veteranath Swayambhu, because the senses, their purpose is to take it away. When you are having a laptop, the laptop has got the functions of the camera only to take the picture and then transmit, through the driver or the software which has been imbibed into that. Likewise, when you have got a speaker, it is supposed to produce the audio what has been come about, and all. You have got the graphic card, it is supposed to give the graphics and display it 3D or 2D and all. Then, when you have got the sort of the higher power cards, because it does lot of calculations, in split second, to give you the results. They have got a separate purposes, but they're all harmonized and brought it into this particular laptop to give everything what you want at that point of time. Sometimes you may need a calculation, because complex calculation, sometimes you need to display it. Sometimes you need to produce the sound, because so that finally you are able to record it. Sometimes you will have to that sort of a type your own whatever you observed your results into that all those things are being functioned harmonized by the operating system, as well as the basic input and output system, as well as the respective drivers for all those things. All of them are coordinated and put it by the power of the motherboard that has been kept in the laptop. Like the power of the motherboard, because it's the chitta what we have. And through that, because we are able to have all our senses activating, and the senses, have got the senses can't function themselves, because senses need the sensibilities. You may have the eye, but if you don't have the power to see and imbibe what you are seeing, but because if someone is a born blind, he may not be able to have it. But then, though we may be able to see, we may not be able to see properly as we are getting aged, because naturally, our the power to see, diminishes with the age and all. Likewise, who is giving all this power? Who is able to make you see? Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. That is, we have seen Kathopanishad there, because like this, the power which makes it you and also when like the motherboard, which is getting the electrical energy, which is the life-giving power. The motherboard is the chitta, from where we are getting all these capabilities. Through that, we are able to harmonize all our sensory functions. When our sensory functions don't take, when we are not able to remember, we are told, we are afflicted with dementia. When we are not able to, when our nervous system is not able to work properly, and when we are not able to carry out day-to-day activities, we said we have got Alzheimer's. And when our limbs are not able to work, because then orthopedic issues, because then arthritis, that comes. There's so many things which comes about it. But then all those things, whatever deficiencies are there, they are also being kept together. You are still able to function in this world. Who makes that to function? When you are young and capable, you could run, you could jump, you can do whatever you want. As you get aged, because your faculties come down, still you are able to function with your day-to-day activities and do, because that is what, we always try. I should be able to do everything on my own without needing anyone help. That's what all of us aspire for. We are able to do as much as possible, and who is enabling us to do all those things? That is the power. So Nachiketa has indirectly given so many similes to know this, to make us understand. And he has also, but then last we have seen there is one particular mantra, because when you are able to understand who is this coordinating power, how your senses are coordinated, how you are able to. But what is the purpose I am going to see is, if someone is not interested in knowing all these things, it doesn't matter. But we have, had the grace of the garden, blessing of the garden, finally to know the great knowledge that has been imparted to Nachiketa by Emma. We came to know of that, through that, we are able to understand a bit of ourselves. To knowing ourselves, because, we may be thinking, we are this, we are that, we are capable of that, we have done that, we are going to do that. And we may also be sort of considering ourselves downright below, because look, I can't do these things, I have always had the problem. You don't have to have any of those things. What is your real Swarupa? What is your real being? What is your real sort of, you should have a self-love. There is no deficiency in you. The kurayondrumillai, because you are perfect. Whatever you are supposed to be endowed with, you have got, everything has been given. To have that confidence, look, I have got what I deserve, and I have got it, so I am going to be in this world and live in this world like a king, gloriously. Not that, because subjugating others by being, because allowing others to be king in their own domain, and I will also be king in my own domain. That's what it is. So it is not going to be impinging on someone else's, and it is going to be seeing myself, in the real light. What does it mean? I will not be having any pretensions. I will not think, that I am so and so and all, because Dhya Vinaya Sampannam, that is what has been brought about Gita very clearly. What is the greatest, evolution? What is the symbol of evolution? What is the signal of evolution is when you feel so, because the humility personified, not that, by telling I am humble and all, by action, by thoughts, words, and action, you should show the humility. You see the great masters. And they have always been, because listening, as if, they are listening to you for the first time. They listen to you so intently, even if you are trying to babble so many things, about yourself, what you have achieved, what did you do, and all. They politely listen. Finally, they give one word, because you have everything, and try to work on whatever you are capable and try to be helpful, because wherever possible, in whatever means, that's what they say. Because, when you are surrounded by, when you are being fenced by the ego, no one will be able to cross over to your ego, because you are carrying the pretensions. And once you are getting into the Upanishad and Gita, when the Vidya Vinaya Sampanna comes, your entire, because that entire ego is being dismantled, and then all the fences are being removed, and you are being exposed to the wonderful sun of the final bliss of the Lord, you are able to get the best out of it. Till then, you are being veiled, what they call it in Advaita as Maya. The Maya, the veil that is covers, eyes as well as, your actions. You are not able to see the real worth of yourself. You are not able to see a real capability of yourself. And you are all not able to see the highest qualities of yourself. How am I to be? Because I am not special. I am like anyone, any other creature that has been created in this world. By my job is to do whatever has been I am capable of and doing it. That's good enough. Without impinging on anyone and trying to do it as best as possible and excel in everything what I am going to do. That is more than enough. This has been brought about so beautifully, and this is what because we saw the last verse which said Yatha Adarshe Tada Atmani. Because once you are able to see yourself, because when you will be able to see yourself, when you don't have the ego part should not come in, because even, when someone says, why you get hurt? Because you see, I am so and so, because, and you create in a role, because if your son says something, because I am a father, will anyone say something to the father like that? Or daughter, will someone say to the daughter, or the wife will say, someone say to the husband, or vice versa, and all those. When that happens, what is this? You take the role as important. When this role has come, the role has not come when you are brought into this world. This you are acquired over a period of time. Then you consider your role as to be so important and you get hurt and all. Therefore, because then ego comes, when you are, because others are also equally the being that have been brought into this world. They have also got their own way of evolving. They have got their own thoughts. They are going attitudes and mindsets and all. As far as you're concerned, you listen, yes, because that is what they, because possibly they feel, because it's not going to affect me. I will have to carry on. Ekla chalo rahe. Because what others say or others not, it's not going to be bothered. When you are able to get that particular attitude, perhaps you will be able to be so unaffected, in the family circumstances or even in the official circumstances or even the fraternal circumstances, even in the society in whatever stream you are in. This has been Yathatmani, but how it happens, because it's not only that giving up in the ego and all, more positive thoughts, because when they say Sattva, Rajasa, and Tamasa. So we have seen, because how these qualities affect, because tamasic quality is like a crystal, on which full tar has been applied. It will not be able to allow the light go through. You will not be, because you will only be seeing, what you will be living, within your nose. What you are seeing is the world. What you have experienced is that, you are nothing others. Things are not going to matter to you. You are not going to find, what is good for you. What is, because you just go by your own experience only. And then you consider, that is the ultimate be all and end all of it, because with that you are going through. Then Rajasa is, because little more clarity is there, but still, because it is tainted, because that selfish sting is there. Whatever you are going to do, you are going to do with a purpose. Human beings are purposive animals. All of us are purposive animals. What we do is with a purpose. When we get a hunger, we eat, because that all of us have to do, because to be surviving. But when you are trying to deal with someone, when you are doing with the purpose, not with the accomplishment of the whatever interaction that is going to take place between one or the other another, that is purposeful. We are trying to use any other person or any other thing as a means to achieve what we want. Once you consider the other person has also got the experiences, he also has got the requirement, he also got the needs, he also got the desires based on his needs. Desires beyond your needs, because I don't think no one can care for that. Because desire, then once you consider that, you will be acting to that. We will not be using anyone as a means. But whatever we are going to do is going to have a ripple effect. When it is ripple effect, because it is going to be sort of unaffecting others, or it should be helping someone else. Likewise, once you do it, that means, you are not going to consider anyone for your own purpose, to achieve your own purpose. So once that is taken, that happens day on and off. That we have to do so many things in this world, and because our ability to tolerate and our ability to do everything with ourselves is not. We have to depend on so many other peoples. We are not an island. We have to live in this world. We will have to interact with everyone. At that point of time, we will have to give ourselves, because we will have to interact with ourselves. We will have to take the plus and minus. We will have to see the deal with the different type of people, but at the same time getting unaffected, in the sense we will have to focus on what is to be done and excel. That's all. Nothing more than that. Don't carry someone what he has said in your mind. Don't go by what someone has done. Not do that. When you are doing all those things, when they stay, because all those things, when a person is able to live like this, I think when finally he gets into the mode, the sattvic component is so predominantly, because persistent, in his thoughts, words, and actions. Then you will be able to see, as if you are able to see in the mirror. That is the entire, because we are able to see, because in the sense we will not be carrying our own pretensions. We will not be carrying in our own sort of, idiosyncrasies. We will not be carrying in our own attitudes and all. We will be bereft of that. Of course, some semblance, will be here and there. That is a big, that is a very, very, very big effort to be taken. But the idea is, it's a work in progress. Once we do it, and finally when we do it, that is what this mantra says, Yatha Adarshe Tada Atmani. Once you are able to have that type of a persona in you, you will be able to see and you will be able to appreciate others. That is the divinity. You will be able to realize the divinity. Realization of the God is that with this body, mind, and intellect. It also says Yatha Swapne Tata Pitraloke. Because why Pitraloke has been brought about? Because our concept is, once you do all good deeds, punyas, you go to Swarga. Of course, it is in the Shastras also. Shastras also, what is that? Because whatever your good deeds done, you will be able to beget, all those fruits in the form of the good life, and because all the sort of wealth as well as well-being, because surrounded by people who are helpful and all those things, it happens. But at the same time it also carries, because wealth is someone, which is when you are able to not allocate the resources properly, because then you will be getting into that mode only. So when you are thinking, finally, when I do all the good deeds, I will be having a heaven. And heaven in the sense, after your good deeds, part of once you enjoy everything, you will have to come back to the platinum or datum line. Once again, you will have to start, because your birth and death, the cycle will continue. The Pitraloka, what we call is, everyone is destined, because perhaps, to come back to this earth, because once they go there and they will have to come back in a different form, not necessarily in the human form. That is what, the mantra 2, the verse 2, verses before that, it sort of warned us. Don't think always you will have a human form. You will be having some other form. But then you will have to carry the dharma of that particular form. If you are an animal, you will have to carry the dharma of an animal. If you are a lion, you will have to pray and eat. And then, because if you are a cow, you will be sort of a predator will take you, because it's all like that. This is like that, because therefore, once you do that, Shastra says, because it's good that when you are having the body, mind, and intellect in this form, try to do that, because so that you will be able to do. This mantra sort of emphasizes that, because once you are thinking, that I will be doing all those good things, so that I will go to the heaven and I will have all good family, children, or the grandchildren, and all those things, they will all be there, and we will be there. But then finally, you will have to go out of that also. So that means, when you are giving up your ego, when you are giving all your idiosyncrasies and attitudes, Vidya Vinaya Sampanna, when you are becoming a humility personified and all, you will be able to see yourself in a different light. And perhaps you will be able to respect yourself. I'm able to respect because I may be seeking respect in the eyes of others. But am I respectable in my own eyes? That is exactly has been brought about. Yatha apsu pariva tadarshe tada gandharvaloke. They say, because there will be a clarity, once you attain all the highest qualities in this life. That is what the first line said. Yatha adarshe tada atmani. You will be able to see as if, you were able to see in a clear and mirror with the clarity. When you have so many sattvic, it is a crystal without any sort of a taint. Rajasic, there will be a part taint, because you will not be able to, light will not be passed through. Tamasic is it's a coated with tar and nothing will pass through. That is what it happens. So once you get the highest qualities, you will be able to see as if you are able to see in the mirror. But to see in the mirror, what you need, the light. Who is giving the light? The light is the finally, because it's called the Parabrahman or self or whoever it is there. But when you are able to see, wherever the light is falling, that only you will be able to see in the mirror. But once you attain the highest quality, you will be able to see as much as possible, but it is as near perfect as possible. That's why in the last mantra I said, when you can do in this birth itself, to that extent, why don't you do it right now? Don't, wait for something, because you will go to Sorga, and I will have this birth, this birth. No, don't go for all those things. Try to do whatever. It is an opportunity given to you. Durlabham Manushya Janmana. Yata apsu pariva tadarsho tada gandharva loke. That is what. Then little more, because what you had is a little hazy, because in the Pitraloka, because you are always thinking of the good deeds and good life and good everything and all, because the ambitions, unfulfilled desires are there. That's why Pitraloka, what we call it. It's the main, where all the mains are there. Gandharva Loka, because it's like there are celestials who are supposed to be entertaining and they are in the performing arts, because they are not bad. In fact, they have also got Natha Brahman when we say, all the performing arts, because even the sound itself is the reflection of the Brahman, because in its full plenitude. And not a Brahman, the one who is able to, because the Shiva, when he does the Tandava, because the Chidambaram, the place, where the entire the concept of the creation of the world has been brought into in the full potential. There, he is there, because there is no, it is only the power, because that is being, that's a Chidambara Ragasyam says. The Ragasya is, it is a sort of a secret, that secret you will be able to understand yourself, what is the creation. It's because finally, it is the mind that reflects whatever your knowledge and all, because your mind becomes so crystal clear, you will not be able to get it. So in the celestial also, what happens, it is all the performing arts, the entertainment when it gets, but then, because their things change. There's like, as the water is wobbling, with the wind. So you will not be able to get the very clear picture. The first is near perfect picture, with the highly evolved human being. And once you are thinking about, because I have done all these things, I have done so many, charities and all, because I should be endowed with the good family, grandchildren, this and that and all I should have. It's because then that will also be there, but then, because it will not be as perfect. And it is like the dream, like a dream, what you see, you may be remembering for a minute, because next morning, maybe I got a dream. But if you want to try to get into the dream, it will not have the clarity. You will be able to see hazy, but still more hazier is, because then, because that is the clarity of the mind, the clarity of, because how a person could evolve, giving up the ego and see himself, in a real light, not, with the pretensions. When you are able to see, they have given the four stages in the Gandharva Loka, when you are able to see, it's a little more wobbly, because little more, it's not all that clear. Then finally it says, Chaya Atapato. Yeah, give a Brahmaloke. Brahmaloke in the sense Chaya Atapato, because like a light and shade in a full-fledged daylight, because you are able to see a tree very clearly with the shade and all. You will be able to see that, you will be able to see only in the Brahmaloka. Says Brahmaloka in the sense by doing special deeds, in the sense evolving to the highest, where all our masters have done, because who have all the acharyas, all the great masters, Ramana Maharshi, all those things who have done, possibly they would have gone. So that Brahmaloka is difficult to attain. And there you will get the full clarity. And that's what I says. When it is there and all near perfect clarity, when it is there, in this particular life, why don't we do it? This is an opportunity given to us. Thank you. This is an opportunity given us. Why should you miss the bus? The bus is right now here. Let us board that. This is what has been said in this. And this is, because another interpretation is, because that we should not waste this life. Try to see as near perfect. And Brahmaloka, why it has been said in the Shastra says there are there are two type of muktis. One is Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti is in the sense, because now you are in the Vaivastara Manvantara. So finally, when the entire the mantra, Vaivastha mantra is because till such time, all the seeds, souls, they will be sort of circumambulating in the different creatures, different birds and all. The Shastras, there is a sort of a connotation to that effect. So finally, once the yuga is going to come and end, Karma Mukti, finally all these souls get into the seed form at that point of time, because then once the seed has fully been, because gone into the entire thing, because it will not have any more, because it will not come back again to be sown into the seed because next yuga or something like that. Because that is the final mukti, that is 425 crores of years or something, because there is a very mind, 4.25 billion years, that is the Brahma yuga and all. That is then the Krama Mukti is there. And Krama Mukti is something which is said in the Shastras that will happen irrespective of the fact, because all of us have to go through that. All creatures have to finally get into that. But before that, you have got an opportunity to evolve and get it the near perfect, with this birth, body, mind, and form. Why don't you do it? That's what he says. He says, when you are trying to go by Shastras and you say Krama Mukti and all, you don't have to wait for like that. You can right now say, and my rishis and all great masters, they will be able to have the clear, near, perfect image with their own mind, because with a so clarified mind, because they have given up all the luggages and they will opened up them so the, because the Hridaya Akasha, because where finally the power, self or anything like that, they open. That's what finally they will be able to achieve. Why not to do it? It is that in this birth, because you can be having see all the heaven, everything and all, as well, you will attain yourself, whatever the best. Finally, you yourself will become, you are free from birth and death. Birth and death, because function of the mind, because if you have got unfulfilled desires and unfulfilled sort of ambitions, and then you have got the hate in the mind, I have to take care of him, because in the next birth, all those things, because all those things may happen, because they all manifest in this birth, in a different personalities, different object, different problems and all. So this is exactly has been brought about. It's not only the idea is to have the full clarity, you will have to evolve into the highest being. That is a constant work in progress. Please carry on. The next month verse says, Indriyanam 2.3.6 in your page number 129. Indriyanam prithak bhavam. See, Indriyanam all the senses, our ear, our nose, our eyes, all of them, because have a different function. So, and we also have seen our eyes, our nose, our mouth, as well as our karmendriyas, hands, legs, and our genitals, our mind, chitta, ahankara, buddhi, they are also supposed to be they all there, all of them have got different functions. As we have discussed earlier, now how the different functions of the different instruments, they are all being finally coordinated. Like a laptop is able to coordinate, the camera as well as the speaker, as well as the graphic card, as well as computation, and as well as input and output, in terms of keyboard or other things. Finally, is able because the motherboard has been given the power to get the respective operating system. Finally it is able to do, and all the instrument camera has to have a separate driver, and it has got to have a separate software. So is the speaker, and so all of them will have to have a separate drivers. So likewise, what we have seen is all our senses have got the respective, devatas are there. Eyes are being, because taken care of by the sun, and the ears are by, the akasha, and the mind is by the moon, and the taste is by the fire, because we have got assigned, various elements, they are all the devatas, who are taking care of all our senses and all. But they themselves can't function because we may be having an eye, if I'm able to have a ear, but if I'm not able to hear, because my hearing power has gone, then it is only a sort of a addendum, because it's not going to be helpful. But then who makes that to hear? Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha, because this is exactly because same Kenopanishad says the power which is makes it, the electricity which has to come into the laptop, they activate the motherboard, and motherboard, because enables all the drivers, and they have to be updated periodically so that they are able to give you the best, because as well as they will be able to give you in sync with whatever the operating system is able to produce the results for you. Likewise, because when it is that, who is doing all those things? Indriyanam, Pratak, Bhavam, they are also different. But then, because they have got, because different functions. Like camera has got a different function, speaker has got a different function. But in terms of, our own body, we have got the sun, moon and all. But we have got, because the Taratamya, they have got the order of, we will be seeing in the next Upanishad called Prashna Upanishad, Shat Prashna Upanishad. It will be highlighting, what are all the functions of the senses and sensibilities in the order of the priority of the senses and how they are enabling us to help to live in this world. So there is some sort of a, because there is a sort of a order is there. The order, but all these orders are under one particular the power, that is the operating system, your chitta, you are carrying, because of your own deeds, and finally you evolved and you have been given the bliss by the God to function to your full potential in this world. That is the motherboard. And finally, the entire, even the motherboard will have to be activated by the electricity, the power. He is the power. Finally, he's the give the power, because then once the power comes, all of us are able to get work sync and all. Because otherwise, if the power doesn't, if the power cut is there, the laptop will be not functional unless you have the battery power also. You should have and fully charged. So this is what has been this simile. What has been being tried to explain is, once you know that they are all the one, and because finally there is one. What is that final transcendence to know yourself and all? Finally, you should know you have got the so much of power. Your motherboard, that is the Swarupa Jnana, and who is the finally the one who activates the motherboard? That is the life power. You will have to do that. Once you know that, you will not be having, I can't have a pretension, because my speaker is working when I am I am having a good power to listen, and because my camera is working, because laptop can't be having different dimensions of, because in the order of what they are functioning, how they are functioning effectively. And finally, a laptop has to sync and function, and they will be rated based on finally they are able to be helpful to produce the final results to the user. This is exactly, user is the world, because we are the entire, as we are using and we are being finally giving up, our thoughts and actions and deeds. Finally, you are going to have a ripple effect and affect the world, our fellow man, family, and the country, society, everything and all. How we are going to be there? This is what has been brought about. Kritak Utpadya Mananam. See, likewise, because all these, see, all these sense and sensibilities, when they are functioning, when they are having the right setting and all, when they are functioning to the perfection and all, they are not continuously, because when you are doing a meditation, you are closing your eyes. Your eyes may not be, you will be seeing, because Adhyatma, you will be trying to see in your mind the images and all. But when you will be listening to the music, your sort of ears will be listening to the music. So once you complete the meditation, you will be opening up your eyes and the music will stop. And because they flip flop, they go on doing it. See, what they Utpadya Maranam, in the sense Utpadya Maranam, it's like, because setting and going up, flip flop, and it does. But then all these things are coordinated. And why you have to know that, because they all have the separate origins, separate drivers, separate functions, still they are being coordinated. Matva dhiraha na sochati. Matva nirana sochati, because when we say the one who understands all those things, he will not be he will not be bothered about, because I have got, my eye power has gone, my senses are gone, I'm not able to do, I become useless and all those things. Once you do, all the senses have got the function they are performing, and they have performed to the best possible extent. Now I should not be working about, because I should only be going on believing what I see. I should not be going only by what I hear. I should not only be going by what WhatsApp says. Would not only be going by what Google says and all. Finally, I should be able to determine myself what is good for me. What is that I should do it. How? That will be only by reflection. That reflection will not be replaced by any of the AI or operating systems. We will have to do it ourselves. This is what it says. So it says, don't go being finally anything that you want to get, finally the clarity should come through your own sort of reflections. Don't go by that. Someone will give me some advice, someone others will give some other advice, and someone, I will be seeing some documents, I will be seeing some WhatsApp messages, some Facebook, and someone, because the dime a dozen, you are getting in the social media, and you will not be going by all those things. Most of the people are getting into, because what WhatsApp advises, for to manage diabetic, you do it, for manage blood pressure, you do it. There are half baked and half knowledge, and because they are all only being done, because as a matter of, because every genuine person, he doesn't have to go and, because propagating his information. And if a good expert, because when need be, you will go to him. Otherwise, because if you are taking care of your own habits, how come, how you are able to take care of the how your senses want to be fed, you are taking care of it. Mouth wants to be fed, you are trying to regulate that, it will take care of it. What you want to see, because you want to sort of only have a screen time of only 1 hour, a day, you do it, that will take care of it. And if you want to listen, because you don't listen to all harangs, you want to listen some good things, you do it. And if you want to spend some time reading a book for half an hour or an hour every day, you assign that, you do that. You do everything as per that, because you go by what your senses need, not what your senses greed. Or senses greed because what you greed. I want to see more. I want to see this. I want to feel and subject pressure. I want to feel so many things, and I want to get into the pleasures of the world. So don't get, if you are trying to get into the ways of the senses, they will all take it away. And it's not that, you should get into that. But they're all flip flop. They will have to work, but finally, when everything is being coordinated, the man of intelligence, doesn't come, because the man who has realized, he will not be bothered about, because how, whether even my eyes don't function as perfectly, and if I'm able to hear, yes, and it's okay, I will go by that. I will try to see that, because I may be hearing a lot of audio books, rather than reading the books. If that is, possible for me to do it. Likewise, because it's all, you manage with whatever, how your faculties allowed to do it. Don't go be after the faculties. This is what is said, and once you understand that, you will not be bothered. You will always be happy. Look, I have had a wonderful life. I am having a wonderful life. I am going to have a wonderful life. I've got a glorious vision of the life, and no power on the earth can come in the way of my having a glorious life. As I have determined and as I have got into this, this is going to be my way of life. Why? How is it is my way of life? This is what, the Yama has brought it to Nachiketa. Through Nachiketa, it has come to us, and we have realized by our own experiences. Nothing can replace our own experiences. Go by your own experience. Even if I say something, don't take it as it is. Experience yourself. If you don't experience, question. You are right to question it, your birthright. But once you experience, that experience can't be replaced if there is something contrary, in terms someone says, or even someone quotes some scriptures, and nothing will be valid. This is what our great masters have said, all masters have said. And Madhvacharya has said, don't go by even the Vedas says, if your own experience says something. But if you feel, because if you are thinking, you've not got the experience, go and experience further and then try to go and find out finally, because perhaps, Vedas can't be wrong because it's Auparushiya. Finally, it has been done by the masters, who have done. You will not be able to, Upanishad and Vedas can't be replaced, because they are the highest knowledge available for the humanity in this world. That means try to get that experience as much as possible. Once you have that experience, don't bother about it. You don't have to remember everything. You don't have to sort of see everything. Like a sieve, in which you are filled. If you take a sand, and if you are just taking a few pieces of the water, and once it goes through, and finally you show it in the sun, till such time it goes. Finally, it becomes a crystal clear. That is okay. Once you hear a lot of things, once you listen a lot of things, finally your mind becomes fully clarified. You don't have to remember anything. You just go by your experience. That is a glorious way of life. This is what I wanted to sort of share this week. With this, I will conclude today's meeting. If you have anything, you can ask, or we can. सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. A small announcement. Today is Hanumat Jayanti. Today 9 p.m. I will be sending you the details and all. We will be having the Sundarakanda Parayanam online from 9 to 9:40. I've already sent a Zoom link. I will also finalize and send the link and all. Today onwards, continuously up to January 5th. And we will be completing the entire, this Sundarakandam by this, and we will be sending the anyone